The demonization of figures, for which an establishment desires to be instituted, can be molded, ostracized, or murdered. The established will do whatever it can to ensure that any figurehead which places a dent on eternal affairs, the dealing of the established, is dealt with. The political parties are at fault, can experience 3 instances. They are silenced at worst, punished, made a cat's paw, or allowed to commit covert fraudulent acts, which damage control is to be dealt with. The legacy media, which employs former Mossad, CIA, FBI, NSA, or even at times MI6. Agents of government mold material that is given to the public for a reason, be it national security or to protect a specific dignitary, sometimes to stir public opinion from dissent. The last thing government wants from any nation is for the public to rebel. Presidents are fancied by the people, but annoyed by Congress. This brings the political class headaches. Such legislation bears inconsistencies which cannot be hidden. If a person does not play the duplicitous game, it is to say that establishment will react. At odds with the Constitution, remember, it is self-interest which actually allows certain people a symbolic role until such a person has fulfilled it on appearance, and not on the basis of reality. The goal is to appear able. Power is perceived as such, and it is a game of appearances.
Power resides where men believe it resides. It's a trick, a shadow on the wall. And a very small man can cast a very large shadow.
The necessary deceptions of which Congress formulates to manifest the credibility of legislation it never reads, and which is not written by Congress. It only considers unsourced material by third-party interest groups. Money is to be made. Congress is the middleman. We say this with the HEROES Act, which places many priorities to bail out political figures, certain industries, and certain companies, mainly to fund pet projects for private and commercial purposes. Likewise, there is great incentive to get kickbacks. Favors involve quid pro quo and to return any favorable restitution honoring previous millionaire agreements, in which places members of the House and Senate into office, is highly necessary. The purpose of Congress claims to serve the interests of the people inside the chamber, and that is accomplished by taxation, by representing the means of the redistribution of taxes, the wealth of the people, which pays federal functions and later state government agencies. The role of government, in the guise of Congress, does not work in tandem at the federal level. The purpose of the House is to pass omnibus legislation, to garner the necessary taxation to pay billions in private and public affairs. Not the working class or the middle class, but the political class, in which money is exhausted in districts and states and federal function, that such opportunities can be issued, proper funds can be made. Remember, the government does not create money. Government finds a means of profiting off ideas. They don't provide products. Lobby groups and front groups, however, work with the House of Representatives, and if enough money is paid through proxies like Act Blue or Win Red, the money can be tapped by super political action committees. If a president deviates from a scripted role, they are punished. This is the issue that plagues an executive. This is most problematic in an administration where a president must choose qualified people for a cabinet, or whatever the function entails. Loyalists from previous administrations, which favor previous political parties, do little work, and much like spies for the opposition, such people can advise or gather information to and from the favor of a president or against a president. The people, unaware of the complexity of government, do not recognize that agents known as information warriors work not only for media companies, but also work for internal organizations. These information warriors are former agents of intelligence. Their role is to steer the country for a specific foreign policy, which benefits people of affluence. With billions of dollars at stake, the military, the private contractors are subjected to foreign deals. With neighboring countries which use the United States military as a mercenary, of which the United States maintains itself as the catalyst for the petrodollar, while it is subjected to be a sole consumer of Chinese goods by the recommendation of McKinsey & Company, a consulting firm that specializes in advising the duality of overt and covert negotiations. By commercial insight. Donald J. Trump was always to be a thorn in the side of the Republicans, and especially the Democrats, having been one himself. What people have to understand is that government does not serve individual constituents. It serves the interests of global governance and initiatives. This occurs on a global scale, for which all countries have an interest in the economic certain industries, and its role, not growth of its commercial operation, but that fiscally, outside think tanks and banking devise systems which allow nations to have fluctuating dips and upward projections, which is not accidental.